Hi, I'm Candace, and this is Fitness and Harmonies. I'm going to call this family yoga today. That this is a holiday week that I'm recording this. And so if I'm coming to you during that time, you may be in the midst of chaos of all the things that are going on in your life. So I want to give you a practice that you can go back to when you need to either you're with a lot of family and friends and around a lot of people, or maybe you need to retreat and be in with yourself. So I'm going to do one that's a little bit more geared toward if you're with a lot of people and we're all together. So this is what you need to know about yoga. Yoga is a practice for all fitness levels that when we come together and when we do yoga together, even though it's an individual sort of an exercise practice, what we're really doing is we're sharing an experience that uplifts all of us. So for this practice today, I'm really going to relax the rules. I'm so glad that you're with me and you're trying this with me. I'm going to relax the rules. I'm going to sit in a chair for a little bit. So maybe you haven't had your big dinner yet and your belly isn't too full, and then you're probably able to sit on the floor or you'll stand up and do some of those moving poses. But maybe knees, back, hips aren't allowing you to get on the floor, or maybe a full belly. So I'm going to start on the chair, do a couple of the moves there, and then we'll come to a standing pose because they're the easier ones. The more advanced poses are the ones on the floor. If you're practicing with small children, just know that they enjoy this just as much as anyone, but they like the ones on the floor, the ones that are named more like animals. So yoga really is for everyone, all fitness levels and all bodies. So I'm going to sit on the chair. You go what's comfortable for you. Come to a pose of repose, a pose where you are fully supported. Let's come to this space now together. Let your arms relax. Sit up tall. So even if you're on like a sofa, a couch type chair, sit a little bit forward. So for me, I have to move forward so my feet are on the floor. Lift the crown of the head. I'm going to ask you to lower your eyelids down. Today's practice won't be as meditative. So a lot of times people believe that yoga has to be quiet and slow, almost reverent. That does benefit your nervous system. So now inhale, exhale. But if you need to make noise, if you want to laugh, there are health benefits to just letting go of all those social control things that we do. Inhale slowly. Begin squeezing the abdominals inward. Trust that you're in the right place right now. While yoga is mostly a sadhana, sadhana is a moving practice, like an exercise. The overarching purpose of yoga is to combine movement and your mind, your attention to awaken energies. 3 slow breaths. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. One more time. And then open your eyes. Let's bring the hands together at the heart. So I'm really starting at, let's call this the beginning, if you've never done anything. So the hands are touching each other, and you can almost feel the energy or the heat from each hand into the other one. Let's start with a few swim the shoulders back. Remember, I just said that yoga is a mind-body practice, a movement and attention to awaken energy. Now pull the shoulders up to the ears and pull the shoulders back and down. Zip the abdominals in. If you've just had a heavy meal, you want to, of course, be careful with that. But it'd be better if you waited an hour or two after, or that you haven't really eaten before this practice. Inhale and circle the arms up overhead. Exhale, extend slightly back. Inhale, come up. Exhale, I'm going to say bring your hands forward and down and fold the body a bit forward. Now, if you're seated on the floor or if you're in a chair, you're probably not going all the way forward and down. So from here, with your hands on the floor in front of you or on your knees, if you were seated, you would have your knees kind of out probably. Round your back. So sort of suck the belly in and make a C-shaped curve in the spine. We're going to call this cat pose. So when you think about a cat and it has that arched spine in the back, That's what we're doing here. So suck the belly in. Remember, everything that you need is right here, right now. Now extend the spine. So rock the pelvis forward, push the chest and the belly forward, and hollow out the back, the middle back. We're going to call this cow pose. So we're thinking of that cow, in the field that has that sway back. So if I say cat, that means round the back. If I say cow, that means extend the back or extend the spine, lifting the heart forward. Now from here, relax the face. Let the bottom jaw fall open. Stick the tongue out. That's actually called lion pose. And then come all the way back up to a seated pose. Let's start over. So I'm going to make a little sun salutation. Hands together. Inhale, circle up. Exhale, extend back. Inhale, up. Now forward fold. Now if you're seated on the floor, and I'm going to come down and meet you in a moment, you might go all the way down. But after you do, kind of crawl your way back until your hands are on your knees. So your knees are always going to be that place that holds you. Your knees are always with you, right? The chair may not be here, the floor may not be there, or you may be standing. Let's round the back. I'll call this cat. Extend the spine. That's what's called that cow. Stick the tongue out. I'll call that lion. And then come all the way up. From there, reach the arms up overhead. Now, sort of wiggle, right, left, like you're climbing, a rope. And then evenly pull the spine up or pull the shoulders down. Lean a little bit to the right or left. Inhale up. Lean a little to the other side. So we'll call this leaning palm tree. Do a few of these swaying. So let's say you are practicing, and this isn't one of those slow, gentle, really reverent meditative practices. You just need to move because you need to get away from the chaos and all the things that are swirling around you. Or maybe this is a group event that makes you feel better. Come up, turn. Come back to center, turn. Come back to center, turn. Come back to center. One more time. Come back to center and let the arms down. Good. Now from here, I'm on a chair. So if you're not on a chair, you can't do this as well. If you're not on a chair, just stick one leg out. One leg is out kind of like that and the other leg is in. But if you're on a chair, twist to the side of the chair. So one of your side hip bones is on the chair. Let one leg come in front, one sort of behind. Inhale the arms up and exhale, extend back. Inhale up and just hold. Now we're going to call this warrior one. For those of you that do yoga all the time, you know what a warrior one looks like. Now turn your chest to the front, stretch your arms out from the side walls. We're going to call this warrior two. And then turn back to the front. Let's put all of that together. You remember, inhale, circle up, exhale, extend back. Inhale up. Now, if I'm on a chair, I'm going to widen my knees here and come to a forward fold. Now, I don't go all the way down. From here, push off your knees and round your back to cat. Pull maybe on your knees and extend into cow. Open the mouth, lion. Come all the way up. From there, align the spine, reach the arms up. We're going to call this mountain. So you're those big mountains. So make sure that you're big, left, right, left, right. Then with the shoulders pulled down, the abs zipped in, leaning palm tree, side to side. If you can integrate the breath, good for you. If you can't, good for you. Trust that you're in the right place, doing the right thing now. Come up, twist, center, twist. Fall into a rhythm of movement patterns. Now, if you had a full belly, this might be too much already, right? So you probably shouldn't be doing this right after you eat. Come back to center. Release the arms. Now twist the other way. If you're on a chair, that means, one side hip. If you're off the chair on the floor, that means one leg extends out. The other knee can either be in or twist it back, whatever seems right for you. Turn, keep your feet on the floor. For me, that's a challenge. Inhale, circle up. Exhale, extend back. Inhale up. And then hold. And we're going to call this warrior one pose. So maybe you can visualize a warrior is really exalted, really strong. Then turn your chest back to the front and reach the arms wall to wall, fingertips lengthening. So our sadhana, remember, is the practice of movement, and we're combining breath and the mind, paying attention to that, and then come back to center. Good. Now from here, one more thing. I'm going to call this pigeon pose. If you're on the floor, extend one leg out, be careful, and then cross the other ankle over that knee. Be careful. If you're on the floor, I don't want you to hurt the knee that's on the floor. If that hurts, don't cross it over. Pause there. Now I want you to walk your hands to your ankle and your knee and maybe tip the chest forward. Pause. Until you feel a stretch on this outer hip. I'm going to call this pigeon. So if you're following along, if you have a little, these are the little cards I want you to remember. It's cat, cow, lion, mountain, the leaning palm tree, the twisting, and then those warriors, and now pigeons. That's all we're going to do. Just sensitize your mind. Here's another yoga word for you, and that's nadi. Nadi, N-A-D-I, nadi, are the energy pathways through the body. They combine with the chakras. The chakras are the energy centers of the body. They create, they pump out. You can think of that as the hormonal centers of the body. Now push off the thighs to roll up and then switch to the other side. So I'm going to call this pigeon. If you're seated in a chair, maybe it doesn't look so much like a pigeon, or doesn't feel so much like the pigeon we'll get to in a moment. After you have that leg all organized, then try tipping forward, holding onto the ankle. Now, always be careful of the knee that's underneath. Make sure you're not rocking it backward. The sadhana is the practice. So whether you're doing all of these pigeons and cows and warriors, or you're just sitting in the chair and digesting, you can still, kind of have fun or use the breath to calm the mind. I want to do 3 more breaths here. Remember, what we're doing is we're moving the body so that the mind becomes still. We started out saying there's a little bit too much with family and holidays. There's too much going on. Now push off the upper thighs and roll up. So I want to invite you to come up to standing. So now we're going to pretend that you don't have a full belly. You may come up, putting one foot in front of the other. I'm going to move this chair completely out of the way. And we'll come back. So we start when we're standing, we come back to Tadasana. That's mountain pose. You don't have to know the names of them. Bring the hands to the heart center. Let's do all of that again. You've already memorized the process here. Lower the eyelids down, maybe close the eyes, maybe not. I want you to start here. Notice the feelings. I am grateful to be here. I am cherishing this moment now. Now, when we're in the midst of all of the turmoil and the turbulent times that we're all having, it may be difficult to see past the challenges and the obstacles and to see the beauty within. So if you can, stand in mountain. You're feeling your feet on the earth. You're feeling the energy of the nadis, the rivers moving through the legs. You're feeling the muscles that are engaging the lower belly and supporting you. And you feel your heart pumping, circulating prana. Prana is the energy or life force. You can think of it as the blood that makes you alive, awake, and present. So at the end of our practice, I'm going to say, just be alive. That's all you have to do. So now open your eyes. Let's go through that same flow. Inhale, circle up, same exact thing. Exhale, extend back. I'm going to turn so you can see me. Inhale, come up. Exhale, forward fold. Now, when you're standing, this forward fold might look a lot different. For me, I'm just going to bend my knees a little, send my hips a little bit further back, brace my upper body on the thighs. For you, it may be hands on the floor. So let's pause here to just breathe. Now, wherever you are, your posture is always trying to move the spine. The spine, the spinal cord, and the channel is the main nadi. Remember, nadi is a channel or a tube that is flowing with energy throughout your body, energy like chi, if you know what chi is. It's energy almost like electricity in your body. Do 3 slow breaths. Remind yourself that yoga is not for the flexible. It is not. Yoga is for the willing. So all we do is we bring this body. Now come halfway up. Brace yourself. Move into cat, that is tuck the tailbone under, round the middle, low back, upper back. Remember, we call this cat. And then extend the spine. So rock the pelvis forward, send energy up that main channel, nadi. Remember, we call this cow. Open your mouth, like your tongue hang out. That's lion. It's okay to laugh. It's okay to make noise. It doesn't have to be super difficult. And then roll up, sending energy up your spine. Let's reach the arms up overhead. Remember, we're going to call this mountain. Kind of climb the rope so the side waists are long. Plug the feet into the floor. Now leaning palm tree, side to side. Notice none of these poses we're doing today are the absolute end of your range of motion. Come up, twist, turn. Now, if you don't want to put your arms overhead, there's another option. But this sort of feels good. It opens up that, what I'm going to call dantian. Come back to center. From here, let's leave the arms up. Step one leg out to the side. Step one leg a little back with that foot a little bit at a diagonal. Turn towards with that leg that you just stepped out. So you're turning, I guess, to the side, we'll call it. We'll call this warrior one. Let me give you about 3 or 4 breaths to organize the mind into the body. Now turn the chest back to what you'll call the front and stretch the arms out wall to wall. The front arm, the back arm are trying to be level, and you're trying to take up as much space as possible. So that was warrior one when we're facing toward the leg that stepped in front. Then it's warrior two when the arms are out to the side and the hips and the chest are in the same plane. 2 more breaths. And then step back into the mountain. So come back to mountain. Balance on one foot and then bring the other knee up. Maybe hold the knee. Maybe try twisting the leg and hold the ankle. So your hands are like holding a platter and they're holding the ankle and the knee. All right, this would be a good time to actually be by, like, let's say the counter. You're by something so that you can help your balance. We're going to call this standing pigeon pose. So you already know all of these poses and you can repeat them. 3 breaths. Keep lengthening the main nadi, the main tube or channels that flow through the body. And the whole purpose is to calm the mind with a path toward liberation from suffering. 1 more breath. And then come down. Let's do that warrior the other way. So that is, I typically turn, step that leg out, step the other leg back, and do bend the front knee. Turn the chest in the direction of, I'm going to call this the front knee, and stretch the arms up. All right, let's slow down here. And simply breathe. Be here now. To be here now. Then turn into warrior two. Remember, this is where you spin your hips, your chest, your ribs, and your shoulders, and stretch the arms out wall to wall. You are keeping a bend in the front leg, and you're keeping the leg bones really energized. There is the ancient writing that teaches us about yoga is called the Yoga Sutra. It's the main thread of bringing all yoga precepts together. And the very first line of the Yoga Sutra is, and now yoga. And now yoga. And there's only about 30 lines. There's not a lot written. So, and now yoga means a lot. After another breath, come back. All right. Hopefully you remember which leg you did standing flying pigeon before. I don't, so I'm going to have to go back and see. One knee up and hold. And then if you want, your hands are like holding a tray. Twist the leg, hold the ankle and the knee. Again, it's okay to laugh. It's okay to mess up. And more importantly, it's okay to not do anything. A lot of times people think, I have to get more flexible. I have to gain more balance. I have to progress. It's okay. Your overarching goal today is to just be alive and to connect to now and cherish this moment, because you'll always find something wrong with this moment. You look hard enough, you can always list all of those sufferings. 2 more breaths. Just trust that you're in the right place, and then let go of that leg. Let's do all of that one more time. I'm going to go kind of fast this time, if that's okay. So here we go. We always start out in mountain, kind of just the spine straight. Inhale, circle up. Exhale, extend back. Inhale up. Forward fold down. Remember, you might go all the way down. Give this a breath. Inhale, exhale. Come up to about halfway. Push into the knees. Move into cat. That is that round the back. Pull into cow. That is extend the spine. Open the mouth, throw the tongue out. Out the line. Reel your tongue back in and roll all the way up. Come into mountain, this time with the arms overhead. Lean side to side. Now your hips might sway too, or maybe they don't. Just figure that out. Everything we're doing is accessible and approachable, even during the most stressful, challenging times. Come up, twist, 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 twist. Come back up. So turn into warrior 1. Step one leg out, step the other leg back, a little diagonal action there. But turn your chest towards this front bent knee, warrior 1. Turn open into warrior 2. Don't worry about the organizing everything exactly into 90 degrees. Just kind of have fun with this as best you can. What I'm going to say is pull in, take the leg you just stepped out, and lift up into that flying pigeon. Just 2 breaths. And come down. Let's try stepping the other leg out. So take this sort of sneaky step forward, glide back, warrior 1, bend the front knee. Notice that as we're breathing in and out, we're moving in and out of poses. I'm sort of telling you, hold. You're never really holding the breath, but what we are doing is holding energies. Turn open into warrior 2. So you may not be really aware that it takes a lot of control. Maybe you are aware to keep this front knee bent like that. You want to sort of just stand up, right? And let the joints hold the load. What we're really doing is organizing and manipulating through speeding up, slowing down, and locking in energies and then letting energies flow. We're learning how to manage and balance energies. So then drag that leg in, take that leg that you dragged in and lift it up into, I'm going to call this standing flying pigeon or standing pigeon, I guess. Just trust that you're in the right space right now, whether you've done one pose, all the poses, none of the poses. Be grateful to be together, even though sometimes it doesn't feel good. Another breath here. And then release. I'm going to invite you to come all the way down to the floor. Just do that any way that's safe and comfortable for you. Maybe you have to climb down the furniture, and that's always okay. Come to a seated pose. for a moment. Sit on the hips with the legs folded in front. Let's try this for a second, and then I want to do all of this in a different pose. So let's do this here. Rock the pelvis forward and back. So this is the hardest part. It may not be intuitive to you, but getting down on the floor and doing these stretches on the floor is hard. And it may not be in your repertoire at all. I want to make that clear. It may seem really simple, and for many children, it is very simple for them to get down on the floor. And as our joints lose hydration, as we age, sometimes we lose the ability to get down on the floor. But I always say that we have to get on the floor, because sometimes you'll find yourself on the floor, like not voluntarily. Come back up, touch the hands to the heart. Inhale, circle up. Exhale, extend back. Inhale, up. Forward fold. Inhale. Exhale, crawl halfway up, hands to the knees. Inhale. Exhale, round the back. Drop the chest and the head forward. Exhale into cow pose. Extend the spine. Remember the mouth. Come all the way up. Reach the arms overhead. Climb that rope. Lean side to side. Leaning potted palm. So we're in a pot now. So we're on the floor. Come up. Twist. So turn. Center. Turn. Center. Turn. 2 more times. And then release out. Let's just stretch the legs out a little bit wider. I'm going to do that one more time. So this will be easy to remember. Touch the heart. Circle up. Extend back. Come up. Forward fold. Take a breath. Exhale it out. Climb halfway up. Maybe into the upper inner thigh or upper thighs here. Extend the spine into cow. Roll the spine into cat. Let's come back into cow. So you notice I'm a little bit partial to the cow. Open the mouth into lion. Close the mouth. I'm partial to cow because it's making space. So trust that all of this is making space. 2 more breaths. Okay, if you're not counting your breath, if your breath isn't slow and fluid, and then roll up. Let's come into what's called hero's pose or Vajrasana. One way to come to hero for so many people is swing the legs around for a few people and then sit up on the heels. That's kind of, you're done. But for the rest of us, grab a pillow or block, something off the couch, and make it into something about a foot wide, and then straddle that and sit on that. See if your sits bones will sit on that. Your ankles, your heels, your knees, they may or may not organize around that, or maybe they do. If your knees don't bend, go sit on the couch again. Don't do this, or just stay seated in that easy pose we were just in. From here, bring the hands to the thighs. You can practice everything else once you're seated. Lower your eyelids down and practice. Let's take a couple of breaths to practice bracing the lower abs. Now this pose, brace the lower abs, is called Vajrasana, which means thunderbolt, lightning pose, or hero pose. What do all those things have in common? They have a lot of energy, a thunderbolt, lightning, hero. They're like the strongest things that we know. So I want you to picture your chest opening up and receiving a lot of energy. So we just expended a lot of energy. Remember that standing pigeon and the warriors? Now you're receiving energy. So imagine maybe a light coming from above, and you are becoming receptive, opening up. Trust that you're in the right place right now. 3 slow breaths. Cherish the breath and trust that it's moving everywhere it needs to go. And then open your eyes. From here, let's come to hands and knees. So I'm going to go quickly through that entire sun salutation. Now, this is the floor version. Don't get confused. Hands and knees. Inhale. Exhale, cat. Inhale. Exhale, cow. Hope you know by now. Lion. Ah. So we're coming up to mountains, and this is how we do it. Flat spine, brace the lower abs, lift the hips and glide the body weight towards the back of the thighs. It's called downward dog. Walk all the way forward. And then here we are in our forward fold. You remember that. Walk the hands up to the thighs, halfway up. Brace the abdominals with bent knees. Come all the way up. You remember mountain. Stretch the arms up overhead. Step 1 foot forward. Angle one leg back. You remember warrior. Turn open into warrior 2. I see you're remembering that. Come back into warrior 1. That's turn to that leg. Step the legs together. Forward fold. I'm going to add something on here. Walk your hands forward. Step your toes and your legs all the way to the back of the mat. Come to a plank pose. Lower all the way down. Rise up into an upward dog or cobra pose. I've done a lot of extensions. Push back up into hands and knees. So let's try that again. One more time. Inhale. Exhale the cat. Cat. Inhale. Exhale the cow. You remember, open the mouth. Ah. Release that. With the toes tucked under, lift up and press back to downward dog. Walk all the way forward. I'm going to add something on here. Walk the hands up to the knees. From here, twist the chest. Left, center, right. Again, you remember this twist. We were standing before. We did it several times. It's the same twist. It's okay to move your hips. It's okay to move your knees here if they're moving. Don't try to keep the body from doing a natural nadi. Remember, that's the energy flow. Come all the way up. Now step the other leg forward. You may not have another leg. Step one leg back. Warrior 1, arms overhead. Sometimes people say, you know, I already did that side. Okay. Twist open to warrior 2. Remember, it's okay to just laugh, to experience being alive. That's what prana is, the aliveness. And then step forward. Circle the arms up overhead. Forward fold. Hands to the floor. You may have to come all the way down to make that happen. Step the feet all the way back into plank pose. Lower all the way down. Maybe slide the hands a little bit back. Press the tops of the feet to the floor. Lift the chest and the heart forward and up. Call this upward dog or cobra pose. From here, push your hips all the way back. Kind of leave your hands where they are. Come back up. Walk one leg, knee forward. Cross the foot out to the side. Remember when we were standing? We did that standing pigeon. Now we're doing the floor version of pigeon. Slide the other leg down and back. Soak the hips down. Remember I said the floor version is always the hardest version. If you've not done this pose before, this is probably not the way to start it. So maybe just leave it out. 2. Turn the toes under of that back leg. Push with your hands and lift the knee up. Step this front leg back. Now step the other knee forward. Twist the foot out to the side. Land on the outer part of the shin. Land the back thigh down. Now, so down. Maybe the back leg has to wiggle to get further back. Pigeon pose. Cherish each breath, each action, every cell receiving. All this time on the mat is actually love in action. 2. From here, roll onto your hip and swing the legs back to the front. And coming back to the Sukhasana. If you want to sit on a chair, if you want to sit on the a blanket or something so your hips are up, that's fine. You can do one more stretch before our final pose. So one more stretch. You take one hand, twist the arm down, turn the palm so it's facing out. Did I trick you there? Bring the back of the hand to the side of your waist here. You got that? Now use your other hand, take that elbow, and be careful here, and give it a little pull, just a little pull. I'm going to stretch part of the rotator cuffs. We're going to be doing a lot with our arms in the next couple of days, month. And give that a little stretch. Release the hand. Take the arm across and push. Give it a little gentle pull in towards the chest. Move your head a little, left and right, side to side. Like you're finding your nadis, the rivers, the channels, the flow of energy that are created by the chakras. You know how the body creates things. And then release. Let's try again with the other arm. So take that hand or that arm, twist it, right? Elbow up, hand down and out. Bring the back of the hand to the side of your waist. Yeah, you got it. Okay. And then hand to the elbow and a gentle tug. Keep this top shoulder down. Don't let it if it's like squeezing up and like resisting you a lot, that means it's not ready for this stretch. Don't do it. Let that arm relax. Kind of maybe just go on to the next one. Leave this one alone until it's ready. And then the other stretch. This is where we take the arm all the way across. Use the other hand to fold the arm into the chest. And then you slowly explore movement patterns with the neck. Notice the tempo of our practice has slowed down. We started out learning a lot of things. We moved into the vigor and the strength, and then we were received with that. Remember that hero pose? We were kneeling, we were receiving. We're about to receive again. In fact, let's go right into that. I invite you to come all the way down to a supported pose. So for those of you on the floor, it looks like laying down on your back. For those of you in a chair, maybe it's a reclining chair and you can rest backward in it. For those of you, maybe even still a upright chair, just try to align so that gravity is holding you. So that you are not holding you now, gravity is holding you. Wherever you are though, I invite you to close your eyes and relax your body. I want to take you through 5 minutes of a relaxation meditation. And now you are taking a walk through a garden. You're going past plants and flowers. You're walking on a smooth, easy path. There is warm sunlight everywhere, and so your body relaxes more. The body is feeling a new dimension of support. Everywhere around you, there is breathtaking views, colors, textures, comforting sounds. Around you now is the presence of peace. It's almost like armor against anything that makes you feel unsafe. As you get more comfortable, you lie down. You're in a warm, comfortable, supportive place where no time passes. And so you rest here. Somehow you hear music playing. Your eyes relax even more. The music soothes you and reassures you. Everything will be okay. Everything you need is here now. All at once, you are fully awake and asleep at the same time. You need nothing else. Nothing. There's nothing to do, nothing to attain. Just be alive and present. Awaken to rest. The body is awake. The body is asleep. Rest here, now. Everything that you need, everything to calm, comfort, and support you is present. Peacefulness, calmness, ease is here now. Open your eyes, roll up, come back up to seated. You're already sitting. Bring your hands together. Swim your shoulders forward and back. Lift your shoulders to your ears and hold. Pull your shoulders back. Relax your shoulders. Now circle up as you inhale and exhale. Bring your hands back into your heart where you and I meet in union and peace. Namaste. Thanks, everyone.